guys, and welcome to a book haul, so this is my last book haul of the year. It is another Target book haul. I'm kind of exposed a lot to COVID, so between my job and my kids, so that going out to stores isn't really a thing for me. So I'm glad I found this sale this year at Target where it's like buy two, get one free. They also sometimes have like buy one, get one 50% off, but it was around Black Friday, and it's a lot of books, so I hope you guys enjoy it. From Target. The rest of them I'm pretty positive I did. I believe I got these from Amazon, and this came simply out of necessity. I could not get a hold of these books at my library. I read this one a few years ago, and I thought it was so cute and funny. It was a hockey romance story, and about like a mom who like sets a guy up on a date, and the girl's like forced to do it. And then I really wanted to read this one because it was the second in the series that came out last year, and I just couldn't get a hold of it anywhere. And it was on Hoopla for a little while, but then it wasn't on Hoopla. So I just went ahead and bought them. And then this one came out this year, Loudmouth. So Awk-weird is about like a girl who gets knocked up by a hockey player, and he's like really, really strict and like has a routine in life and knows what he wants to do and who he wants to like marry. And so him like knocking up a one-night stand, isn't that great for him? And he was a fun character to get to know. And then Loudmouth is about like a character who finds out he had a brother that he didn't know he had, and this girl spills the deets on her blog. So controversy, drama. I've already read them if you can't tell. The next two are Colleen Hoover's that I haven't read. Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite romance authors, YA also author. And so yeah, I got two new ones. Regretting You, I think this one is a newer one by Colleen Hoover, and I have no idea what it's about. And Confess, I think this one might be an older one by Colleen Hoover, but I'm excited to read them because I do love a good Colleen Hoover book. This one is an oldie that I've never picked up or collected anywhere going to like used bookstores or anything, and it's When Breath Becomes Air by Kalanithi. I think I've given this one as a gift quite a lot. It was one of my favorite books I probably have ever read. It's just so good. It's about a surgeon, and it's like the end of his life. He's dying from cancer, which is so sad. But yeah, it was a finalist for a Pulitzer Prize, and it's just written really well. Being like a writer and a surgeon, that's ridiculous. I think he's a neurosurgeon on top of it. Maybe not. Maybe he was dying of brain cancer. I don't remember. But then I also picked up a Nicholas Sparks book because he's one of my favorite all-time authors. He's so fun, and it's 2x2. This isn't his newest one, but it's just one I skipped over and never read. And I believe this is like a father-daughter relationship, which sounds really fun and good. Next one I just got here really recently, and it's Clap and You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I haven't read The Poet X by her, but I did read her other book With Fire on High, and it was a lot of fun teen, like it was like a teen girl who had a baby and like took a cooking class, and there was a lot of cooking stuff. But I've heard really good things about Clap and You Land. I think it's about like two girls who are connected. I don't know they are connected. I'm not sure what this one's about, but I've heard a lot of good reviews. The next one I was so excited for is Ready Player 2 by Ernest, Cline. I read Ready Player 1 last year, or I finished it. I had read like 3/4 of it, like, I don't know, a long time ago. And then I reread it, the whole thing last year, and loved it. So just right on time. And then I just watched the movie Ready Player 1, which does not follow the book very well. But I'm excited for Ready Player 2 because I think this is like a decade apart book. Like, I think it's a long time in between. Let me grab one other book. Books. Oh, so I've collected two books by J.K. Rowling recently that I have talked about a lot, because this one I started reading in the beginning of November and never finished it, and I just started reading it again. It's so good. But it's J.K. Rowling's Trouble Blood. It is the fifth in the series of the Texas series of Cormoran Strike. You can watch the TV show. It's really, really good. It's probably just as good as the books, I think. But I love it. It's just so much fun, and it's their first cold case. It is a 900-page book. It's taken me a while. I'm only halfway through. The other one I just started recently, and I'm having fun with it, is the Ickabog, which this is a beautiful, like, thick, gorgeous hardback cover. I love this, so I don't mind not finding the sleeve for this one. But the Ickabog is there's a story of cornucopia, and then every like city is like wealthy. Like one is wealthy from pastries, one is wealthy from other stuff, and then there's like these bush people more on the fringe of society And then, and I think that's where the Ickabog might live. And then there's these people who live within the city. That's where the story's at right now. And it's about this like little girl who lost her mom to like the king who everybody else loves, but the king had like worked her mom to death. So it's a really cool story so far. It's a children's fantasy. I've got to picked it up. So these two are oldies. This one I read last year and it was The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, but I waited until like literally a month ago for the paperback to come out because I collected the other ones in paperback. I love this trilogy. It was so much fun. And then the next one was Lois, Lowry, Numbering the Stars. I saw this one pop up and I loved this book. I read it a few years ago, middle grade March. I always find such really good middle grades. I think this might be a children's book as well. But it was a Newbery on in Middle by Lois Lowry and it was so good. And it's about like a girl sneaking Jews in across the border, and it's about this one country that basically saves most of its Jews by sneaking them across the border and sneaking them out and using like dogs. Like they give the dogs cocaine, the Nazi dogs. They don't give it, they make them smell it, so then their noses are numb, so they can't smell the other humans on board, and they can't seek the ones out that they ship out to another country to save them. The next one is Beauty and the Mustache. I've had so much fun this year with Penny Reid series, and I collected the Winston Brothers earlier this year, but I went back and read the Knitting series, and she put out this one. It's Knitting in the City 4. She put out this one to look like the Winston Brothers series because she is the sister in the Winston Brothers series. I had so much fun with this. I fell upon the series on HooverBook because it kept like chasing me around being like, you should read this, you should read this. And I kept seeing it everywhere. So I read the whole Beard series and then went back, and I'm in the middle of the Knitting series. But yeah, I'm so glad I got this book to like match the other ones. And the next one, I never collected Well Met, but I collected Well Played because I had so much fun with it. I love this. It's a Renaissance romance. It's by DeLuca, and it's about like a guy who goes from Renaissance to Renaissance, and then a girl who does the Renaissance every year for 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, it like changes in the book, but every year, and she absolutely loves it, and she wants to be a part of it, and she doesn't want to go back to her normal job. So, and it's like a couple who've known each other for a long time. Next one is Forever Wild by K.A. Tucker. I picked up. I could not pick this up. I think it's the 2.5 book. I wanted a full like trilogy from this, and it was a fun little holiday book. I would recommend this as a holiday read if you have read Wild at Heart and The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, which it's like about a girl who goes up, she's like an Instagrammer, and she goes up to meet her dad because she doesn't really know her dad, and he's a bush pilot, and she meets another bush pilot for the first thing. The next one I picked up was Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I read this one in October or November. I don't remember when I picked it up. Absolutely adored it and loved it. It's about a plus-size girl who dates a guy that's like really famous and ripped looking, and it's like a Game of Thrones show he's on. So he's really popular and famous. And then the girl, she's got a pretty cool job, but she's like a plus-size girl that's like getting over the social media of her being plus-size and them dating, and it's a lot of fun. And it's about fan fiction. It was like the first book I read that was like fully fanfic. So if you're a fanfic fan, you'll really like that. Next two, I picked up Crush by Tracy Wolff. I got given Crave earlier this year, and it's a vampire book, and I've read quite a few vampire books lately that I didn't like, but I really did like Crave. It was fun. And then Crush was even better. I really enjoyed Crush. So Crush is a continuation of the story about a girl who goes to this academy, and not just vampires, but other monsters live there. And she finds out at the end of the last book that she's a gargoyle, so this book is a lot about her being a gargoyle, and it's pretty cool. And then the next one is The Never After the 13th Fairy by Melissa Day Cruz. I did get sent this book, but I love Melissa Day Cruz. I've read a lot of her books, and I'm excited for this one. Then this one is about a girl who, like, a character comes to life from a series she absolutely adores and loves. So I'm excited for that one. I want to read this one soon. I haven't read it yet, but the next two I picked up because everybody is talking about it. It is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I've never read anything by Victoria, and I'm so excited to just jump in, I guess, and read the one that everybody's talking about. But it's about a girl who wishes to be immortal, and she doesn't become a vampire, but she does become immortal, but nobody remembers her. So I hear it's quite a sad book, but I really want to read this holiday season. So I don't know if this will be like in my best of 2020 books, because I probably won't get to it till like after that, probably later Christmas, New Year's, but I really want to read this December. The next one I picked up just simply because I'm in love with Marissa Meyer's writing. I love Supernova and the Cinder series by her. If you like those, Cinder series is like a retelling series about like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and it's all like sci-fi and it's super cool. And then Supernova is about like this superhero series where these people, they live in a place where there are superheroes and non-superheroes. So good. This one seems like more of like a chick lit semi-fantasy book. So I'm excited for it. It's about instant karma. It's about a girl who gets the power of karma, but it seems like it's set in the real world. So that's exciting because this isn't set in a different world like most of her books are. But absolutely love her as an author, so couldn't not pick it up. The books are adorable. Bethel Leary, I came across, she put out a debut novel last year called The Flat Share, and I absolutely adored it and loved it, and it was in one of my top books and top romances I read last year, so I had to pick up The Switch by her. It's a highly anticipated book, and it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the other one, but I still really, really enjoyed it and liked it. The Switch is about like a grandma who goes to the city to find love, and then a girl who goes to the country to get away, and it's really good. I loved the grandma story. I did love the girl story, but I love the grandma story a little bit more. And then Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. She puts out these adorably cute books, and I've loved them all so far that I've read from her. I've read Meet Cute, which was really cute, and Good Luck Charm. But this one is about a girl who owns this like bakery and booze shop, and then next door this guy takes over this bar. They're kind of at war at each other because they kind of launch their shops at the same time, and they both want to win this contest to get really known and to make money. She's from like a food empire, so she's like trying to stand on her own and do everything on her own. And then he is too in a way because he's taking over his grandfather's place and like making it his own. He has like axe throwing. It's adorable, adorable book. I'm so glad I picked it up and read it. Loved it. Next one is Evie Drake Starts Over. I heard really good things about this. This is a YouTube maybe buy book by Linda Holmes. This is a quiet book. It's about a girl who's a widow, and people don't know that she's not sad because she was leaving her husband. But she has a baseball player move in to her like guest house, and her house is just like too big, too expensive for her to live anymore. And I think her ex-husband was a doctor who everybody loved, but he didn't treat her well. So it's just like a book of like standing on your own, becoming your own. It's very quiet. The romance isn't heavy in it. It was okay. And then the last book I'm so glad I did pick up was The Majesty by American Royals. I think I read this first and then went ahead and picked it up just to make sure I was going to love it. But American Royals came out last year. It's about if the Washingtons had become kings and queens, and then this is like the updated version. So America's still America in every way except for with kings and queens. The Majesty is about the girl who becomes queen, and then all her brothers and sisters and their love interest and her love interest, and everything flips on its head in this book, and I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, those are all the books I hauled. Most of them I read, most of them I loved, or most of them from authors I really, really loved, or I just wanted to join the bandwagon with the V.E. Schwab book. But I'm so excited for all of them, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you guys in the next BOOKMAS. Bye!